I still can't quite believe it. You know, you buy a ticket and anything like this, you always think they're a bit of a con, or you never see any of the winners or anything like that. The thing with Rev Comps is they're a lot smaller and it's a lot more personal. They're a family run company. Obviously it's father and son with mum on camera on the live draws, so they do 3 live draws a week. They go for a lot of cars, to be fair. So I've been buying tickets for about a year, I suppose, on and off. Again, you never think you're going to win. But yeah, I literally leapt out of my chair. My daughter was sat with me whilst we were watching the live draw. One number came out, you kind of go, ooh. Second number comes out and you're like, ooh. And then the third number came out and I'm like screaming at the television as if it's the World Cup final and we're gonna win on penalties. You know, the last number popped up and yeah, silence, stunned. I think Molly Sue was stunned as well. So yeah, I couldn't quite believe it. Ran in to see the wife, who was on a conference call. Managed to bellow at her that I'd won a car, to which she replied with an expletive whilst on a Teams call. So she apologised to who she was speaking to, which was quite funny, which made the evening. But yeah, there we are, a 2016 Mk7 Golf GTD. Obviously a little bit of spec on the vehicle. It is a 2016. It is a 6-speed manual. It has cloth interior, so it has the tartan. It has the grey tartan, so there's no red or blue accents like the GTI or the GTE. Again, everything that should be red or blue on the other models is chrome on this one. So it's quite nice, but it's very subtle. Some people love, some people hate the interior. A lot of people like it's much better with leather. I really like it. I think it suits the car. I mean, it's very business-like. Being a Mark 7 rather than a Mark 7.5, it's got the analog dials, which in some ways I prefer. I do like the digital dash that comes in the newer ones, but it's quite nice to have the old ones. It is one less thing to go wrong, obviously, at that point. It does have start, stop and keyless entry, which is really good. Aircon, climate, sat nav. It's got auto hold. You know, it's got pretty much everything on it that you could wish for. It's got electronic handbrake, which took a lot of getting used to because I've never not had a proper handbrake. So when you first pull up after getting into a car that has an electronic handbrake and you stop and press the button and it goes, eh, and you're like, is that it? Is it on? And you just kind of let go of everything and just look around for the first couple of times you use it, but you soon get past that. So I've had the car now about 4 months since they delivered it, so I've done a couple of thousand miles in it. It is really, really lovely to drive. It's quite quick. It is really quick, to be fair. I mean, it's no GTI, but it's the quickest car I've had. It's very torquey. When you floor it, there's a momentary pause, and then literally you just ride this wave between each gear, so that's quite nice. So it is pretty pokey, and it's not bad on fuel. It's not as good as the Octavia, obviously, but it's got a lot more power. This being around 180 brake horsepower, whereas the Octavia was 150. Yeah, this does, I think, around about 40 to 50 to the gallon, depending on how you drive it. I think a lot of people criticise whether or not that's actually true. Being a diesel of this period from Volkswagen, I think it's a little bit like but I think genuinely enough the computer does read between 40 and 50 to the gallon. If you're on the motorway it goes up a little bit more. We had a trip to London where it went to high 50s, so averaging about 55 miles an hour, which seemed like forever, which took it up quite considerably. So I was quite impressed by the miles per gallon, but it did take a while. However, on that journey, interestingly we did have a slight hiccup. We got stuck in traffic in Slough for a long time. It was a hot day. It was very start-stop traffic. They'd closed part of the M4, and unfortunately I think my clutch overheated. So yeah, the pedal went to the floor and we got stranded, unfortunately. So it's working fine now and it's all cooled down and everything else, and I've driven the car for a few hundred miles since with no issues whatsoever. So looking at the history, I think I'll probably need to replace the master cylinder on the clutch at some point. Again, I'll do that in due course, but I'm not using the vehicle that much at the moment, only for once a week for work really, and posturing around the village. So it's on my list of things to do. But yeah, other than that, it was an interesting moment, and it did take quite a while for the RAC to get us home, but that's another story. There's about 24 hours between breaking down and us walking back through our front door, including an overnight stay, pretty much sleeping in the Golf. So yeah, high five to the RAC for that. I will say again that I cannot fault how amazing RevComps have been throughout this whole thing. They delivered the car quickly. It came within a few days. It was delivered clean, valeted, with a smile. They picked up another car en route, so it was dropped off as part of a to and a from. But yeah, it was lovely. It was a nice day. It arrived. I'll show you some pictures of that in a moment. But if you get a chance to have a look at their website and buy some tickets, please do. Since I won this, if you have a look along the M4 corridor, it's quite interesting because there have been winners from Newbury, Hungerford, Chippenham, Guildford, Thatcham, Alton. You know, it seems to go along. If somebody wins a car and they tell everyone that genuinely it's a real deal, and they tell their friends and they tell their friends, it seems to be creeping along the M4. So it's entertaining to watch at that point anyway. In regards to other projects that we've got on the go, the Calibra is still ongoing. I have a video to do shortly with my cousin Andrew, who has a mint condition Calibra. In fact, it's pretty much, I would say, show winning, the condition it's in. So that will follow shortly. I have a video to do on the Octavia again. I have a long list of videos. It's just getting the time between work, having a family, the current situation with the pandemic, about what you can and can't do, etc. And right now, obviously, is the best time because you can't buy any fuel, even though there is no shortage because of the UK media coverage. The whole world has decided that they're no longer going to panic buy 400 weight of toilet rolls. They're going to go and fill up every jerry can they can in the shed and fill up their cars, meaning that currently, although there is a slight shortage of lorry drivers in the UK for one or two companies, the whole country seems to be grinding to a halt as everyone panic buys fuel. Depending on where you live, whether that's a problem. I'm a little bit more rural where we live, so it's not been as much of a problem. But I know my parents obviously live in town, and that's been more of an issue. So please, if anyone's watching this, stop buying petrol en masse. Just fill up with the normal amount you want and just go home. Okay, and there we have it. It's only a quick video. Apologies, but we'll cover a little bit more and a little bit more driving of it in a POV drive style very shortly. So thank you for watching. Tune in again soon. Please like and subscribe. We're at 260, so please, we need to get to that 500. At 500, if I get to 500, I can open up the community channel, and that means that I can actually chat to you more frequently on a daily basis on YouTube. So I'm really looking forward to that because it will hopefully grow the channel a bit more. Thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.